This moss is a keystone species because it filters water and houses certain species. Using energy from the sun, this plant is able to produce food. This mushroom is a decomposer because it releases enzymes that decompose dead plants and animals. Here we see fungus, acting as an organism that's feeding off of a tree. The branches of this plant go outwards for more sunlight, and the needles also grow for more surface area. Here we see a population of water bugs living in the same place at the same time. Here we see a bee acting as a pollinator, moving pollen from the male anther of this flower to the female stigma of the flower. These berries act as an invasive species, as they don't originally belong to this area. This plant has flowers and produces seeds enclosed within its carpel, allowing it to be labeled as an angiosperm. There are holes in a leaf, a sign that parasitism has occurred. This ant has a hard, waterproof exoskeleton which is made of a material called chitin. The seeds of this conifer are unprotected by an ovary or fruit. This autotroph forms nutritional organic substances from inorganic substances. Here we see a plant that has grown from some pretty harsh conditions. This plant is pointed towards the sunlight, a perfect example of phototropism. This water is an abiotic factor as it can determine whether an organism survives or dies in a certain environment. Here we see a bird perfectly camouflaging with the rocks in the water. These cattails exhibit mutualism, as they prevent erosion and in return have a place to live. Here we have a good example of a simple food chain. The bunny takes on energy by eating plant leaves. And in this next video, the primary consumer is the dead squirrel on the street, and the crows are the secondary consumers. Here we see holes in a tree, most likely made by a woodpecker. People grow these flowers because they are colorful and attractive, therefore making more people want to buy them. Here we see a brown squirrel blending in perfectly with these brown branches. Since the moss, ivy, and smaller plants came first, the big tree and other trees around it were able to grow. Here we see a spider in a spider web waiting to consume a fly. This bunny exhibits adaptation as it sits still while eating, using its color to blend in and avoid predators.